Yeah, I'll do it. But okay, so let's say it's recording, but thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending the East Springfield Board and Community Police Management Team meeting for January 18th. We do have not a very heavy agenda, but it certainly is an important agenda. And it's very important that everybody here gets all of their questions answered. So let's slip right into the meeting. I'm going to share the screen of the PowerPoint so that you can read along with me. And this is the management team meeting. And let's start, as we always do, with a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United
States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty
and
justice for all.
Welcome to 2022. We hope that it's going to be a really good year. And one way that will make it better for us is if we all come together and volunteer and work together to protect and improve and preserve the quality of life in our neighborhood. So that being said, if you're out there and you want to volunteer, you want to give us some help, if you have some skills that we could use some people who have website design, website management. We could use some data management people. We could use some help with marketing, some help with finance, some help with grants writing, some helps with putting on some of our projects, and some extra help at our best keep Beautify East Springfield together. So there are lots and lots of things that you can do. So please just give us a call or send us an email, and we'd be glad to infuse you into some of our activities. Again, that being said, let's officially start the meeting. I know we do have a quorum. And let me introduce the people who are on the Zoom or who will probably be joining in a few minutes. I'm Kathy Brown, and with us, Marie Koski's on. Lynn will be joining in a few minutes. Brenda Spalding is on. Peggy Shea, Farah Rodriguez, Irene Kennison's with us. John Koski's with us. David Rosso, Justin Doyle. Thank you, Justin. Justin's representing the John Boyle O'Reilly Club. Angie Sebenyong from the Sheriff's Department. Sue Haley Arce from the Springfield Police Department. Officer Vasquez from the Springfield Police Department. And on our agenda here, we have Sean Arpin, but we have Lieutenant Sheehan with us tonight. So we do want to hear from you. Your issues are extremely important, and we will together make our neighborhood a whole lot better. Please, any of the general public or anyone who's on the Zoom call, if you have something to say, just please just pipe in. It's a small group tonight, so I'd be just glad to have you interrupt us or if you have questions. City services are operating. Call 311 and continue to report appropriate issues. Don't be afraid to call in and check on the status of the issues that you've reported, or use them for information. Like, where do I pick up my next COVID test kit? Or what are the times for the COVID testing sites? Any kind of question like that, 311 is very able to answer. Any questions thus far? No questions? Okay. A couple of items that are foremost on our list tonight is to remind us that on January 24th, which is next Monday, the marijuana special permit for 299 Page Cultivate will go to the City Council. It went to the City Council last month and they tabled it, so it's coming up again. So if anybody's interested in watching that City Council meeting, you can watch it on cable next Monday. The other special permit, we do have a request for a special permit from North Star Pulp and Paper, because they are asking for a special permit to transfer their special permit or change the petitioner to Casella. Casella is a publicly traded waste company, and they are buying North Star Pulp and Paper. All of the conditions that are currently on the special permits will remain, but it is going to City Council on January 24th so that North Star and Casella can ask to have the petitioner changed from North Star to Casella, keeping all of the other special permit conditions in standing. So that's going on with that. If anybody has any questions, you'd shoot us an email. Well, certainly you can bring it up right now, or shoot us an email at contact@myesnc.com, and we'd be glad to give you more information that if you would like it. Okay.
Kathy,
Yep.
they said that the shooting range is still going to be able to be used by the police officers for like what, 345,000 a year?
No, that, yeah, I'll back up. I can tell you what I know about that, unless Lieutenant, you want to address it, but the information that I have is that the 299 for Page Cultivate, that's a different portion of the land than 299. So, and the police department does rent 299, the police academy, the shooting range, from the Goodmans. The police department will maintain their lease or contract with the Goodmans. And in addition, they're going to be, they are under agreement with the EOPS, with the state, to have some state training and other training for other police departments at the same location. And the state's going to pay the Springfield Police Department for that service.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and I think, Lieutenant, I don't have the numbers in my head. I don't know if you do. We pay like $800,000 and they're going to be paying us almost $400,000 a month for rent.
It's a moneymaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good. And that's I think the purpose behind the whole endeavor was to be able to start doing regional training through the police department, which is we have an excellent academy, and it's resources, and a lot of cities are going that way where they'll bring in outside talents for training, and it's a conference and convention setting, and you wind up in certain cases you can benefit the city financially from it. So I think this is one of those cases where they will make out financially to the betterment of the city.
Okay.
If we could pause for 1 second, I think that I've got to change the screen here because Lynn can't get in because I'm not letting her in. All right, so now I've got about 5 or 7 people joining because I didn't see that they were, because I'm sharing my screen rather than, okay. Yep, sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. There are 4 or 5 of you sitting in the queue waiting to get in. And the lieutenant just explained how the police department is renting out a portion of the services to EOPS as an appropriate use for sharing our talent in terms of training. Oops. I have no idea what that noise is. Somebody's feedback. Okay, I hope everybody's in now. I am sharing my screen. Is that correct, everybody?
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, Kathy, your share screen is not up.
It's not up. Okay. Lieutenant, are you seeing it?
I can see you, yeah.
You can
And
see,
I can see everybody at the top.
Can you see my screen?
Oh,
No.
Okay.
If it says sharing, Kathy, just select stop sharing and then select sharing again and then select the sheet you want everyone to see.
I'm sorry, everyone.
And if everyone else can mute their lines, please.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Irene, you want to walk me through that again, please?
Yeah, of course. So you select stop sharing. Can you see whose phone line is on? We're hearing a lot of background noise.
Yep.
Whoever it is needs to mute their line or the lines have to be muted.
Brenda, is it you maybe or Jerry?
Nope, I'm down cellar hiding.
Okay. Somebody's TV is on in the background, please. Would you please mute yourself?
Oh.
Thank you.
Also learning about 4 new subpoenas issued by the January 6th committee looking into us.
You should see, it should highlight whoever's actually talking, Kathy.
I'm sorry. I've now done something here. Boy, 2022 is not working very well for me here. I usually do much better at this. Okay,
You're doing fine.
have we muted? Okay, we're good now. All right, let's try this again. All right, so I want to share a screen, Irene. Talk me through it, please.
All right, at the very top of your screen there, do you have that options bar?
I have it at the bottom of my screen.
Okay, does it say share screen?
It says one participant can share screen at a time.
Okay.
So I don't know what to tell you. All right, well, let's just keep going, I guess. Unless you have a fast fix for this, Irene.
No, I'd have to be logged in. I'd have to be under as a host.
Okay, well, let's call this a semi debacle for tonight, but let's continue to, I'm going to pop up what I have here because I'm working off of what I thought was the screen, everybody, because I have the whole PowerPoint presentation in front of me and but nobody else. So let me just keep talking at it for now. Page Boulevard, the business strip, we had several of the board members had a nice walk with 6 or 7 city people this past week to talk about trees and curbs and sidewalks and some improvements for Page Boulevard, that business strip. So we're really quite excited about that. The other piece of information that is for COVID, most of you may have noticed that the free COVID tests have been announced by the federal government, and it is now possible for you to go onto the website, www.covidtests.gov, and you can click on it. We did put that on Nextdoor also. And if you click on it, you can just sign yourself up for COVID tests. And they will send you 4 of them in the mail. Okay. All right, any questions so far? It's a little hard without having any audio, without having visual.
I will say that if folks could follow that link, it's very easy. I tell anyone and everyone, and if you have someone who's not as computer savvy, who's in your family, you can do it for them on their behalf. It doesn't require any payment information. If you see anything that says payment, you're in the wrong place. Make sure that you're using just the link that was provided. It only asks for your name and your address. That's the only thing that they need. I helped sign up several people today who do not have computer access, including some of my neighbors. So, obviously make sure that you're ordering these for yourself, but please consider other people in your neighborhood, in your community, or even in your family who may need your assistance. It is that easy, okay?
Yeah, it certainly is. Thank you, Irene. I was able to help a half a dozen people sign up also because it was very simple. Okay, John, do we want to, John, are you with us still or no? Nope, he's still out with his power outage. So let's now move on to the beat management team portion. And Lieutenant, I'm sorry, I'm not going to have any pin dots for you. I'm sorry, but you'll be able to talk it through because I know you're excellent at doing that. But John Koski is the chairperson, but as I said, he has a total power outage on his whole street on St. James Avenue. So we will move on. I know in addition to the lieutenant, we do have Officer Vasquez here, and he's right there. And thank you for coming tonight. And also Angie is here from the Sheriff's Department. I don't see Charles here. So Lieutenant, why don't I turn it over to you and give us an idea of what's been going on in the neighborhood for the past month or so.
Okay, can you hear me first of all?
We can.
Yep.
Okay, Lieutenant Arpin cannot make it tonight. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm taking his spot. Good to see everybody here. As we were talking before the meeting started, the numbers are very good as far as comparison to a year ago, and in general, overall, there's really nothing of any significant trends or patterns that have developed. Everything is basically very few instances of aggravated assaults, B&Es, motor vehicle thefts, motor vehicle breaking and enterings. We did have a couple of aggravated assaults. One was a domestic related incident. The other was a road rage that occurred on Page Boulevard. It wasn't necessarily anything related to the neighborhood other than was on a busy road, and two operators of motor vehicles went at it, and words were exchanged, and then eventually the aggressor approached the other vehicle at a stoplight and brandished a firearm at him, and the other car just took away, blew the red light, and just got out of there and didn't want to have anything to do with that. But not necessarily a situation that is reflective of East Springfield, just happened to be on a busy motorway, a road rage incident, and those things happen. Looking at some of the other things that I took note of on the arrest that took place during that time period, there was two incidents where people were arrested on warrants, but the reason why it's significant is it reflects how they were arrested based on a LiDAR traffic detail that was taking place. They had overtime assignments for traffic officers to go out with LiDAR and do traffic control on the busy drags, and Page Boulevard was one of them. And I wish I had the numbers of citations written. I know that they wrote an astronomical amount during that time period. I couldn't get the actual figures though, but it is reflected in the fact that they're stopping people and people are getting arrested based on warrants. But they're out there, they're doing the job, and they're getting you're getting the coverage that needs be. The other thing with the LiDAR is because of the training council, there was some issue with training certification of LiDAR. That was addressed over the past month. We're getting more people caught up as far as the standards for them to be able to do the LiDAR and get their training hours in. And hopefully that will lead to an increased amount of LiDAR during the regular shift periods. So that way we have not just traffic officers, but regular patrolmen that can go out there during high traffic situations and use LiDAR as an enforcement tool. It's probably the best one out there, but because of COVID and training issues over the past year and a half, some people just couldn't get the certification needed, but it's actually required before they can bring these LiDAR citations to court and prosecute them. So that's been taken care of, and look forward to being able to utilize that more. There was a arrest for heroin, crack cocaine possession to distribute, and that took place in front of the Page convenience store at 496 Page Boulevard, and there was a homeless individual who's known to the department, and he was passed out at the wheel, and further investigation determined that he had a large amount of heroin and crack cocaine in his possession, and also other motor vehicle and weapons violations he was arrested for. So it was a good arrest by the officers that responded, and somebody that's like a chronic offender in Springfield was promptly taken care of by the SPD, and hopefully a little bit of the blatant scourge was eradicated for a little while at least, because you don't need that up there. Other things that took my attention on incident reports, of course, there's the Mallory Village. The actual Grunwald Street activity has died down. I ran the calls for service here for the past couple of months, and it's basically all directive patrols, just officers going there, spending time and doing that. But that's just pushing some of the stuff further out and further down on Baldwin. And then across the street, there's another location that's probably not gang related, but just a chronic drug nuisance house on Lang Street that I've noticed a couple of incident reports for suspicious people in the neighborhood, basically scrounging around looking to get their fix and probably coming to and from that location. Other than that, there was an incident that occurred. It was just a disturbance that occurred at the Racing Mart. But this is something that I sort of noticed, that the Racing Mart is probably, we got to make sure this doesn't become the new Pride station down in the north, or down on the North End Bridge area, because it seems like you got a gas station that's open late, you got a big parking lot across the street, and we're going to try and make sure that doesn't turn into a destination spot for people after the bars, where they go and they hang around. And then obviously as the weather gets warmer, the dirt bike issues and the ATV issues are going to be a problem, and they got the woods right behind there, so they can, hopefully we can stop it and prevent it before it starts. But other than that, like I said, the numbers are very good. There's no increase, only 1 or 2 B&Es, aggravated assaults, which one was domestic related, 1 motor vehicle theft, and 1 B&E into a motor vehicle. So very good numbers, which is shocking for Christmas time. Usually the brakes to vehicles is through the roof because people are looking for a quick fix, and the cars are the easiest thing to do. So very surprised with the numbers. Other than that, I think I covered everything that the report had. Is there any questions anybody has?
Questions for the lieutenant?
Hi, this is Deb Huber. Lieutenant,
Hello,
I
Deb.
was wondering when you mentioned that the suspect was known to you. I think it was the heroin and the guy in the car.
Yes.
What exactly, I mean, not in detail, but that would mean that he or she has been
He's
in and out
somebody
of.
that's been arrested previously for narcotics charges. The reason I recognize him is he basically had to attend to him in the hospital for several days because they couldn't get a judge at the time to transfer him over to the Hampden County House of Corrections. So he wound up having to put a detail there for a long weekend recently. And then I looked into it a little bit more, and I was shift commander that night when we wound up having to post somebody down there because he had warrants. And then I'm nosy, so I start looking into people's past and see what they're all about, because it was his girlfriend that dimed him out and said he had warrants and he's in the hospital. And at that point, we're sort of obligated because he's trying to leave. So, we were stuck with him for a weekend, a long weekend, which, we weren't too happy about, because normally you can get a clerk of courts, get a judge, and just remand him to the House of Corrections and they'll take over, but we weren't able to do that. So that's just a notorious somebody that's got long, lengthy drug history.
So that was my real question, was when the police say known, we can assume, it's a fair assumption that they've been arrested more than once already. Would that be
Yes.
reasonable? Okay. So my second
That's
question was, when do you know when we can count on the courts to keep these people in jail? I don't know why so many of them get out.
I could go into a real long diatribe as to what's going on with the court systems, but I guess a lot of the district attorney's offices, the district attorneys, and I'm not saying this about ours, but just across the country in general, they're leaning towards non-incarceration, and they're trying to find out ways how not to incarcerate people, whether it be putting them out on bracelet or just turning them back out into society, especially with narcotics offenses. It's not looking well for as far as
Oh, we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
And I think it's fair to say that the police are frustrated with that.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. I just wondered, I wondered if there was a certain standard or something. I haven't found that out yet, I mean, the guy that just murdered the wife's boyfriend in Chicopee is behind bars. Well, thank goodness, and he was, quote, known to the police. So it's like,
Right,
I hope he stays in
so-
jail.
Yeah, so contacting your state representatives is really important, because really, the courts and the way that the laws are also written, the way the laws are written, it's going to be mandated more on the state level. So it's really important that if that's a concern, that you voice it, especially with your state representatives, and keep voicing it with them, because it's unfair. You have all these officers
Around the
basically
books, this
running
is
and
the-
doing their jobs.
Right.
The
Good
the
point.
issue is the
They're not
laws are on the
sitting there
books, and
with-
it's just,
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
the laws are on the books, the penalties are there, it's just a matter of enforcement and, you know, if society is trending towards that's not where they want to go, then until there's a certain discontent with this strategy, things will have to, you know, will probably continue in that trend. But once you, like you said, contact your representative, it's all done at a political level for the most part, you know, so.
It's way out of our police department's hands.
Yeah,
Way out.
it's very discouraging though when you see a lot of the people that you recognize as people that probably should be incarcerated because they're dangerous and they're out on the street, especially the individuals that are carrying firearms around and just see them right back out. Those are the ones you know they're going to be involved with something almost immediately.
Well, we feel for you and for the rest of us too. Thank you very much.
Any other
Hopefully-
questions?
Thank
Thank you, Deborah. Any other questions for the lieutenant? Well, it's good news with the report. Okay.
Yes, very good news.
Officer Vasquez, would you like to comment on anything or give us an update?
Okay. I've been doing directive patrols inside of Mallory Village, monitoring the schools on Carew Street and Bowles Park, and keeping an eye on Marshall Roy for suspicious activity or homeless people. Monitoring the traffic on Page Boulevard and St. James Ave. Working with Clean City for shopping carts and illegal dumping in East Springfield. Clearing our 311 complaints. I'm getting a lot of phone calls and text messages from the people in East Springfield. I'm also documenting them too.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Officer Vasquez?
Hello?
Yes. Who's that, please?
It's
Yes,
Sandy.
Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, what are the 311, what are they calling about, the 311 calls?
What are people calling about for 311 calls?
Yeah, what is it about?
Sometimes they vary from abandoned cars, quality of life. They also trash on a tree belt.
Okay,
Other things, they vary from call to call.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sandy. Nice to see you, Sandy. Okay. Anybody else? Quick question for the lieutenant, for the Officer Vasquez? Sue Haley, anything from you?
Hi, good evening. Suhaili Arce, the Community Police Liaison with the Springfield Police Department. I just want to remind you all that I'm available to have these conversations, to discuss any concerns, any safety issues, any questions that you might be having. It's important that we all remember that I am available to you throughout the whole month. So you don't have to wait once a month to ask your questions or to kind of just wait on it to see how you can get assistance. I will be happy to share my contact on the chat function if you'd like, or just making sure that you guys know that I'm just available to you to have these conversations one-on-one. Sometimes individuals do not feel comfortable on these types of platforms to have these conversations. So I just want to share that invitation that I am available to you if you wanted to have a more personal one-on-one conversation in regard to any safety concerns or any issues happening in your neighborhood.
Thank you, Sue Haley. I really hope people will take you up on that frequently.
Kathy,
Yes, Sandy?
I just wanted to thank her. She helped me out with some phone numbers today, and I wanted to personally thank her. It's Sandy.
You're very welcome, Sandy. I'm happy to hear that you're with us on the line this evening.
I tried a couple of times. I finally got through.
Yeah.
I'm happy you did. Thank you.
Okay. Angie, are you there?
I'm here.
Anything from you tonight?
I don't really have anything tonight.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let's see. Charles, I saw you come on. Do you have anything for us tonight?
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions, comments, issues?
I was going to say, I don't have any issues or comments, but and I don't know if this is the right time for it, but I did want to remind folks that Shine is available assisting folks who are on Medicare or have questions about their Medicare. The services are always free. I do work for the city of Springfield, so I am able to assist anyone who has any questions, especially if you're on Medicare and you have questions about scams, or if you are concerned about your Part D drug costs. We're in our deductible period right now, so a lot of times folks don't understand why their costs seem to be a little bit higher. Any of those questions can be addressed. You can contact 311 to get the number directly, because 311 will also provide you that information. Or you can contact the center, the senior center, directly at 413-750-2893. We're offering phone appointments for anyone who needs assistance. Also, folks who are on Medicare, but also have Mass Health and have questions about their Mass Health, we can absolutely help those folks as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you very much.
Kathy,
Yes, Sandy?
did people know that they can pick up kits to test for the virus Thursday between 10 and 2 at the Raymond Jordan Center? We're allowed two per household.
Right. Thank you, Sandy. Yes. There's a whole list of locations, and we did post those on Nextdoor for those who want to take a look. But there are 9 locations or 11 locations that they're handed out by the city. So that's really good. And then I did also mention the place that you can sign in, and Irene mentioned for the federal government, where they will mail you 4 kits, 4 tests.
You have to run a computer to do that one, though.
I believe you do, but Sandy, if you want to call me at some point, I'd be glad to do it for you. Or we'd be glad to do it for you. Okay?
Okay, who would I call?
You can
How would I
me.
call?
Sandy, give me a call.
Is your number listed somewhere?
Actually, you know what to do? Let me think. I don't want to yell my phone number over the.
No, I don't blame you. It's my phone. I'll give my phone number to you.
I think I have your phone, Sandy. Let me. I'll give you a call after the meeting. Okay? And I'll do it for you. Okay. Thank you.
So much.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Kathy and
yes, Deborah.
Everybody, this is Deborah again. I just want to say, if you are members of Nextdoor, please consider joining the All Springfield group there. We're trying to keep the drama to a minimum and just have it be good information being shared. I wanted to let everybody, remind everybody about All Springfield in the Nextdoor platform.
Thank you. Right. I know John Koski, who I do not know if he was able to get back on. Marie, was he able to get back on?
I'm not sure what he's doing upstairs.
Okay, that's fine.
I just came back on a few minutes ago.
That's good. Power's good, especially.
And I'm guessing it was a branch or something.
Yep. So we have already scheduled, and we'll post them on the next meetings, the check your speed events between now and the end of the year. So we are looking for some volunteers to join us on those check your speed events. We'll put together a whole list, and we'll post it on Nextdoor and on our website, and then we'll have it at following meetings here. And we're also going to send it out in a newsletter. So we can attempt to get, a nice group of 8, 10, 12 people at least at each of our check your speed events, where we're trying to slow traffic down. And the Springfield Police Department has been consistently supportive of the check your speed events. So we thank them very much for that, and certainly thank traffic and thank the commissioner for that. We've also, as part of our neighborhood council, requested through the traffic commission for some speed limit changes and some alterations in Page Boulevard down by the 1200 block, 1300 block by Bircham Street. So we've officially asked that. So it's going through the traffic commission process now. So I'm hoping that we can get a positive reaction to the suggestions. And as soon as we have some details for you, we will, some results for you, we will let you know, because that area, as we all know, is treacherous. So we're excited to do that. We have not had luck yet in getting the DOT, Mass DOT, to alter their project for the St. James Avenue, St. James Boulevard project to include new sidewalks on Hobart Street. We haven't given that up yet, but know that we've been advocating heavily for some new sidewalks on Hobart Street, because when the new revisions get put in, there will be minimal places for people to walk, and that Hobart Street will be used more frequently by cars as a cut-through street. And we've made it very clear to and with the city because they're trying to get it also from the DOT's perspective. The city knows that if they can't get the DOT to do it, we're going to be asking and have already asked the city to put it right on their sidewalk and renovation list so that it happens at the same time as the reconstruction of St. James Avenue and St. James Boulevard. So we're thinking, you know, now a year out, 2 years out, and getting it done and getting it done right. So we're not going back to the.
What's DOT's concern about that?
Their concern is that they're calling it outside the project scope, meaning it's 2 feet away from the edge of their project. So they did not want to include it. So it's just from what we're looking at, it's just a short-sighted approach. So if the state's not going to be able to do it, we need to get the city to do it, and we'd rather have the state do it. It just makes sense to do it all as a package.
Is the city aware of it?
Oh yeah, and the city's advocating along with us to have the state do it. So we may or may not win that battle, but the city knows that if we, the neighborhood and the city, if we don't together win that battle, the city's going to be asked, or more emphatically asked by us, to make sure that that's included in what they're doing at the same time that the DOT is putting
So
together.
why are we in favor of it? Is it because of safety or?
Safety.
Okay.
Yep, safety. The way that road is now, many people use it to walk down the middle of the road from Big Y over to Crew Street. The sidewalks are very inferior and in some cases don't exist. And when the new traffic pattern gets put in, there will be lights right at the mouth of Big Y and Hobart Street, and people will have to walk down the middle of the street and play bumper car with the cars, or have someplace else to walk. And we're hoping they'll have someplace else to walk, as in a good, safe sidewalk. So it's a challenge, but we're working it. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else for tonight's meeting.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, Sandy, you may.
Okay, it has to do with O'Brien's Corner. There's a real horrible pothole coming out of O'Brien's Corner. And I called 311. Is that the only thing I can really do about it? They've done nothing about it. They know about it. They know it's bad, but they haven't done anything about it.
Okay, so is it on O'Brien Corner property or is it on the city property?
It's coming out of their driveway, so well, maybe it's their property. I don't know. I'm not sure.
But 311 would be the appropriate approach. And again, we can talk and make sure that if it's on O'Brien's property, maybe Officer Vasquez, would you be willing to sort of check that out when you get back into, next time you're in that area, and just see if it's their property or city property?
Oh, I'd appreciate that, because we hit it every time we go out of there.
And then we'll figure out what's going
I'll
on.
take a look at it tomorrow, Kathy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Kathy, I have something.
Okay, Marie.
Because John hasn't gotten back on.
Right.
One of our concerns is Speedway and where Kennedy Fried Chicken, that whole, what used to be the dry cleaners. They're again this year, when they plow the parking lot, when they plow gas station, they pile all the snow on the sidewalk. So pedestrians have two choices: climb up and over a pile of snow, which isn't safe, or walk out onto St. James Avenue, which isn't safe. And John reported it a couple of times to 311. And if it's gone now, it's only because it melted, because it was still there yesterday. And
Okay. Marie, I just talked to the new manager about that, and they're gonna talk to their contractor. I haven't gotten in touch with anyone over at the Bravos or that chicken spot to clear their sidewalks.
Okay, it'd be, and it's not just the children. I mean, there's a lot of people who walk by our house heading down that way that are using canes. They are somewhat disabled, judging by the way they're walking. And to be climbing a snowbank is not the thing for them to be doing. Right. At all.
Thank you for bringing that up, Marie. And Officer Vasquez, thanks for following up on that, because last year it was an issue too. So I guess they need to be reminded.
It's a new manager at Speedway, so I just communicated with him and talked to him the other day.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't have to happen again, but this is a regular occurrence, and if nothing else, the person doing the snow plowing should know not to block a sidewalk. You'd think they'd have a little more sense. Just saying.
It's absolutely true.
One last thing, Kathy.
Yeah,
Just everybody, if you've seen on the, different places, the city is really trying to get Eversource to fix our overhead streetlights, the white lights that, make it safer to be on the roads. And it's been my experience that Eversource is really slacking off still. Finally, one of my reports I copied to the director of the DPW, who copied it to someone at Eversource, and voila, some of the lights I had
Good job.
reported actually got fixed. And hey, John. So anyway, I just want to point out to everybody that, I can't do it alone. If you're on your street or if you're just driving around and you see a light out, if you can at least note the location. I'm not saying get out and find the pole number. I think that's ridiculous that they ask us to do that in the dark. But if you get the information, an address or a cross street and can report that through 311, then if it doesn't get fixed, let me know, because I will let the DPW know that they're not following up and getting our streets safer.
okay, yeah, thank you. I think we've had some really good luck with the lights in East Springfield of late. I've had probably conversation with a half a dozen people who have indicated that they did respond to the request to call in the deficit lights. And they did let me know that some of them have been fixed. So that's really encouraging. So let's, again, do what we can do is pick up a phone, identify it. To resolve the problem, we pick up a phone and we get the information into the right hands and then follow up with it. But thank you very much. Thank you. Anybody else? John, I know we lost you for a while. I don't know if you had anything. I mentioned check your speed.
Kathy, I have
Lieutenant,
one last thing I just want to mention. The midnight shift, Captain LaBelle, at the beginning of the year, they redid the car assignments. And I just want to let you know that he added a additional one-man Sector C car for the early roll call. And then we have the two-man regular Charlie car for regular roll call shift. But he did add a car. So that's more coverage in the area, more visibility. And I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that.
that's excellent. Thank you very much. Thank him for us.
I will.
Please do. Okay. Anybody else have anything?
So
John?
Kathy, yeah, one of the things I was going to bring up is the Speedway and then
Already
that.
talked about it.
Marie just brought it up.
Okay,
She
good.
took
Thank
care
you,
of
Marie.
it.
No, that's good.
Great,
Good.
that's
Perfect.
great.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got you back here.
Thank you, Marie.
That's what you guys get for being out of power.
Oh,
Out of the loop.
Anybody have anything else that they'd like to bring up publicly? Well, I'm excited that there were 25 people at minimum on this meeting.
well,
Yeah,
it was,
nice.
Wonderful. It's excellent.
it was
And,
just a quick charge. It was just a quick charge payment and we got the power back on.
We got the power back on. Okay. All right. Yes.
Kathy, are we gonna meet in person in the near future or no?
Well, I think the virus is going to decide that for us. We don't have the ability
Okay.
to make that decision yet, but I think as soon as we are going to be, the world will know.
Okay, don't forget to call me.
Okay, I won't. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye, Sam. Okay, then I think that the meeting is over. So I will call the meeting. I know I asked to talk to a couple people afterwards about just some other issues, but thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a good, safe couple of weeks and talk to you soon. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kathy.
Bye.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
And Kathy, if you could end the recording, please.
Thank you very much.
Sure thing.
Which cameras? Let's zoom.